afternoon. I'm Sameer, and I'm presenting this on the behalf of work done by a couple of students and also my guide, Professor Sridhar Iyer, who is sitting in the audience. I'm going to talk about an Exer game called Mathmazing. I'll come to that. So we all agree to this point that fluency for basic arithmetic is really important. When later on we have to do complex mathematics, fluency at the basic level is very important. And to achieve this, the typical method used is drill and practice. The students are given worksheets and various other mechanisms by which they keep on doing the same thing. But there is a small problem. Okay, so even if it is proven that it is useful and it helps people to get a good recall, but the problem is that children find that practice very boring. They really get annoyed with that if it happens over and over again. So one solution for that was thought of in the way of introducing computer-based drill and practice, which will make them attractive. They can play with it and they will get response then and there, and they can. So that becomes an interesting thing for them. So computer-based drill and practice is also known to be very effective in certain cases wherever. First of all, the children like it because there is no paper and pencil involved. They can interact with a computer finally, and it enhances positive attitudes. That is already been said. But the problem with this thing is that the time spent on computer was slowly increasing, and children develop sedentary lifestyle and all other problems associated with that. So a solution was thought in a way called Exer games. Now, Exer games is actually a combination of words exercise and games. And when it was found out, it was mainly for the entertainment side of it. So it was not derived for the educational purposes, but mainly for getting the children out of their seats and doing something. So while they were playing the game, they were also doing some physical activity, and it was just happening. So they were not aware of that probably. So there are examples like Xbox. Gesture-based games were definitely found more exciting because the interaction devices were completely different. We have a gadget in our hand which we can move better than a joystick. There was no keyboard, there was no mouse, and enjoyment was found increased drastically actually as compared to the keyboard and mouse games. But what also was observed that it requires multiple intelligences. Now it is not only about logic alone or just a thing which was designed for. I'll give an example here. It's a game called Learn Pads. What it does is you show a particular problem on screen. It's an arithmetic problem. What is 2 plus 7? And that answer is not to be typed. It has to be jumped the number of times. The answer is 9. You have to do 9 jumps on that. And the pads will record that and show you if you are correct. So children jump 2 more times just because they are happy that they got a correct answer. So that was found very interesting. So based on that, we just tried to analyze what all went into Learn Pads and what can be taken forward from this thing. So our work is called Mathmazing because it is giving a new amazing way of teaching maths. What we have is it starts like this with a screenshot I'm just showing right now. I'll show a demo also in some minutes. It starts with a problem given. There is a maze as you can see, and there are answers given, options for the answers given. Children have to answer this particular problem first of all, locate the answer, and do gestures. That is the skeleton tracking device Kinect used, and do gestures to reach to the answer. Now in this what happens is the maths is solved by the logic skill. Gestures are helping them to use their kinesthetic skills, but finding the way to this particular thing and reaching there is actually using the facial skills. So before that, I'll just show you a small glimpse of that particular game itself. So this starts like this, and there is a sum given already. When you the user, because we are using Kinect, the user needs to calibrate themselves in front of, so that is done typically with a T-pose. So the student will stand in front of them, calibrate themselves. Once it is calibrated, as you can see here, the skeleton appears, and after the skeleton appears, then they have to make the designed gestures. For example, bending forward means that the character will move forward. Taking the right hand out will means that
the character will move on the right hand side. Again you bend forward because you have to go ahead in this direction. So it is going right now. Bend forward. Then take, so you can see the skeleton here. You stick out the right hand side. I think it fell down. And yeah, you take your right hand out. You go to right, bend ahead, go there, and again take the right hand out. And that's correct. So that's how this game works. I just come back to the presentation. So what we are trying to attempt, we are trying to add multiple intelligences for the students to develop using various levels. So solving the sums, then locating the answer, searching for the nearest path, which is actually the spatial skill, and then reaching to that destination using the gestures. Because while doing gestures, you have to be completely aware of the narrow path available, and if you do gestures slightly more or less, you may fall down. So that ability has to be taken care of. While designing, the path is starting from the gestures as the input, but those inputs, because they are visual inputs and Kinect is capturing them, have to be converted to a computer event as an input. So that has to be taken care of. Later on, we added a game logic, which will give the appropriate answer on the display, and that's what the final component is. While translating that to the applications, we have tried to use all open source application side at least. Kinect being a product, we are not actually debating on that. We use Kinect as the input level. We use FAST for the translation of the gestures to the keyboard events or the mouse clicks. We use Blender Game Engine, another open source 3D animation tool, and we use any projector or a screen for showing this. So this is another schematic of the same thing, but I have added more details to it, and especially this is the one I wanted to show, where you can see that the FAST has this kind of where the left arm out 20 key hold A. So it is corresponding to the keyboard entries, like the typical game design which has this 4 key A, S, D, and so it is mapped to the similar keyboard which typically gamers are familiar of using. So after doing this, we thought of doing a test for usability, and we had pre-decided the objective that it will be only for certain aspects since it was a prototype. First thing was about learnability in terms of how first time users can learn this thing quickly. Second was about efficiency, that if they play it first time, how can they do it better in the subsequent times. And third was about satisfaction, whether the interaction was nice, they liked it, pleasant. So the results were where we not only they liked that Math Amazing because it was giving them a lot of fun elements, but they particularly spoke to us about the interaction device. So not being a keyboard mouse game was first thing they liked about it. And there was also a reduction in time. So I'll just show you some figures about it. So for example, to solve the equation, first time students took some 22 seconds, and in the subsequent attempts, the last attempt what they did was fourth attempt, they could do the same equation in 9 seconds. On the other hand, locating and moving themselves up to the destined point was 26 seconds in the beginning, and in second attempt itself, it came down up to 14 seconds. This is average of these students who were participating. We have just put up some callouts about the sample feedback, and some of them are very interesting. For example, the fear of math. Students mentioned that the fear of math is gone because now I see claps happening at the end of the game when I crack it correctly. So I feel very happy that I have given a right answer. Or I like the gameplay because I was only supposed to stand, I don't have to write anything. So that was another thing. And they had some very interesting inputs also. When we fall down, maybe a shark will come out, and because your maze is inside water. So students already started thinking in terms of giving us feedback, which were more visual in nature, and which is very nice. We can ponder on it. So we plan for some future work in this. For a larger sample, yes, we need to do a larger sample test. Variations in the maze path, it's also being considered how at every level the path will change so that they don't get used to the same path again and again. So that can help. In also the gestures, sometimes the intuitiveness of the gesture also leads to better usability. So we wanted to see what can be done. Can a run thing given instead of bending ahead? So these kind of things are being done. And similar thing of
shifting the subject. Instead of math amazing, can we make it English amazing or science amazing, where we can show a particular jumbled up spelling there, and you can say out of these 3 options which is the correct spelling, so you just pick up. So they also can take it up for processing their literary powers. So that is one of the future work which we are planning. I would like to thank you for your patience. I think I'm in trouble.